The division of Berlin was one of the most important events to happen after World War II and Hitler's demise. It began in 1945 when the Soviet and Western zones came to an agreement during the Yalta Conference, where each superpower controlled one of the four zones. A person by the name of Walter Ulbricht, who was a communist leader of East Germany, was given permission from Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev to begin a seal off of all access between the Eastern Berlin border.
The big three were France, America, and Britain. They concluded how Germany should split up. The three made an alliance with the Soviet Union against the Axis powers. The West Zone wanted to particularly bring back the German economy and put the three Western zones into one area.
The construction of the wall continued for the next decade. Once the plan was being put in motion, citizens in the city of Berlin were confused on why they couldn't reach loved ones in the other half of the city.
The separation was only meant to be temporary, but the Allies had different visions for post-war Europe. The Federal Republic of Germany was formed in the West, while the German Democratic Republic was formed in the East, created by the Soviets.
The Soviets restricted any kind of trading from the western part, so a border called the Iron Wall was also put up.
Even though Berlin was in the East German territory, the post-war agreement gave the Allies joint administration for each of their zone. Besides that, the Berlin Wall extended 43 kilometers throughout Berlin and a further 112 in East Germany. The barrier had obtained harmful barbed wire and fencing, while guards stood on the lookout for citizens attempting to escape the wall to their loved ones.
The residents located in Berlin had either jumped over the barbed wire or left from their windows. Noticing the problems, guards ordered to extend the wall and make it higher and impossible for citizens to escape to the other side.
East Berliners who have apartments facing the border take the long chance when they get orders to leave their homes for the interior. While an East German guard attempts to yank her back to prison, West Berliners pull her to a fire net and freedom. Heedless of danger, from 4th and 5th floor windows, from any hatchway open to escape, they flee. This woman drops into a net held by alerted firemen. And then, as a tense crowd watches, she is followed by her husband.
By the year of 1965, more concrete barricades that measured up to about 106 kilometers of 3.6 meters high had been added to make it even more difficult to escape. As for the coming years, spike strips were added, guard dogs, and landmines in the sand,
adding 320 more watchtowers from the night and 20 bunkers. A part also called the death strip was cleaned down so watchers could also have a better view of seeing citizens trying to escape and will unhesitantly shoot them.
Henceforth, a total of 5,000 people or more had successfully escaped East Germany between 1961 and the year 1989. Since the Berlin Wall was given multiple barricades added, the people who have escaped dug tunnels, swam across canals, flew hot air balloons, and unbelievably crashed a stolen tank through the wall. However, over 138 people have been killed trying to escape over the Berlin Wall.
Through the years, many people were upset and finally decided to rebel against having the wall being brought up. Others were also being inspired to help after hearing Ronald Reagan's speech at the wall in June 1987. Before rebelling, there was a treaty named the Basic Treaty of 1972, where it recognized East Germany pragmatically and the regime gradually allowed family visits, but also discouraged people from exercising these rights by a complicated bureaucratic process and high fees. At the time, people were deciding to rebel. In November 9, 1989, East Germany tried to diffuse tension by making travel permits easier to obtain, but no one paid attention.
Your city, where the news photo and the television screen have imprinted this brutal division of a continent upon the mind of the world. Standing before the Brandenburg Gate, every man is a German, separated from his fellow men. Every man is a Berliner, forced to look upon a scar. President von Weizsäcker has said the German question is open as long as the Brandenburg Gate is closed. Today I say, as long as this gate is closed, as long as this scar of a wall is permitted to stand, it is not the German question alone that remains open, but the question of freedom for all mankind.
As time passed for 2 years, thousands of Eastern and Western citizens began to tear down the wall, many climbing up at once and protesting about having the two in Germany reunite. Once the guards saw people from the other side on the wall, they attempted to knock them off by using a fire hose. The people climbing up had outsmarted the watchers and brought umbrellas in case it did occur. The guards surrounding the walls were put under pressure on how to ease the tension of citizens, but to no avail, and were forced to open the gates for families and relatives to be reunited.
So geht sie zu Bruch und nichts anderes.
On that day, people were overwhelmed with joy, and some danced on top of the wall celebrating their victory. Finally, on October 3rd, 1990, East and West Germany were officially reunited after nearly 30 years. As of today, the wall has almost been completely destroyed, as some parts are left intact as a reminder of those 30 years.
The parts of the wall have been collected from numerous museums put up for exhibits all around the world, but most of the pieces have been recycled to help rebuild Germany at the time. Parts that have also been torn down by workers were given to citizens to keep as a memento for the day that will surely be remembered as the years to follow.
This is every thought of every Berliner. We hate you, Berlin Wall.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.